My barber stopped cutting and asked, "Why do you have the same tattoo as the missing person poster outside?" I froze in the chair, scissors still hovering over my head. "What missing person poster?" I asked, but Tony was already walking to the window. He pointed at a flyer taped to the glass outside his shop. "That one. Missing guy named Jake Morrison. Same eagle tattoo on the left shoulder blade. Same scar through the wing from what I can see." My stomach dropped because my name was Jake Morrison, and I definitely had that exact tattoo. "Tony, that's probably just a coincidence. Lots of people have eagle tattoos." But Tony was shaking his head, studying my reflection in the mirror. "Jake, I've been cutting your hair for 2 years. Never seen your full name anywhere until today. And this poster says Jake Morrison went missing 3 months ago." He showed me his appointment book. "But you've been coming here every month like clockwork." I twisted around to look at the poster through the window. The photo was grainy and taken from a distance, but it definitely looked like me. Same build, same hair color, same general features. "This has to be some mistake," I said, but my voice sounded shaky even to me. "Maybe there's another Jake Morrison with a similar tattoo." Tony pulled the poster off his window and brought it inside. "Says here he disappeared from Portland, Oregon on March 15th. His family's offering a $10,000 reward." He looked at me carefully. "Jake, where were you living before you moved here?" I tried to remember, but my memories before arriving in this town were surprisingly fuzzy. "I came from the East Coast," I said, but even as I said it, I wasn't sure if that was true. "Been traveling around for work?" Tony raised an eyebrow. "What kind of work?" I opened my mouth to answer and realized I couldn't remember what I told him before. "Construction," I said finally, but it felt like a guess. Tony set down his scissors completely. "Jake, this is serious. If this is you on this poster, your family thinks you're dead or kidnapped. There are people looking for you." He pulled out his phone. "Maybe we should call the number and clear this up." My heart started racing, and I didn't know why. "Wait," I said, grabbing his wrist. "Let me think about this first. If I call that number and it's not me, I'll be wasting everyone's time. And if it is me..." I trailed off because I couldn't finish that thought. If it was me, then I had no memory of having a family or disappearing from anywhere. Tony sat down in the chair next to me. "Jake, when you first came to my shop, you paid cash, said you were new in town, starting fresh, but you never talked about where you came from or why you moved here. That seemed normal at the time, but now," he gestured at the poster, "now it seems like maybe you were running from something." I stared at my reflection, trying to remember my life before this town. I had an apartment here, a job at the hardware store, a routine, but when I tried to think further back, everything got blurry. "I think I might have been in an accident," I said slowly. "Hit my head or something. My memory of the past few years is pretty foggy." "That would explain a lot," Tony said gently. "Head injuries can cause amnesia. Maybe you disappeared from Portland because you were hurt and confused, ended up here without remembering who you are." He showed me the poster again. "Says here you have a wife and 2 kids. They've been searching for you for 3 months." The words hit me like a punch to the gut. A wife and kids I couldn't remember. People who loved me and thought I was dead. "Tony, what if I don't remember them? What if I call this number and these strangers claim to be my family?" My hands were shaking now. "What if I've built a life here that I have to give up for a life I can't even remember?" Tony stood up and locked the front door of his shop, flipping the sign to closed. "Jake, we need to figure this out properly. Let me call my brother-in-law. He's a cop. He can help us contact the right people and make sure this gets handled safely." He was already dialing. "If you really are this missing person, there might be reasons why you left that have nothing to do with memory loss." While Tony talked to his brother-in-law, I studied the missing person poster more carefully. The physical description matched perfectly. 5 feet 10 inches, brown hair, hazel eyes, 32 years old. Even the birth date was right, but the address listed was completely unfamiliar. 1247 Maple Street, Portland, Oregon. I'd never heard of that street in my life. 20 minutes later, Officer Williams arrived at the barber shop. He looked at me, then at the poster, then back at me. "Son, I'm going to need to see some identification," he said kindly. I pulled out my wallet and handed him my driver's license. His eyebrows shot up. "This license was issued 4 months ago, right around the time Jake Morrison disappeared." "I remember getting it," I said. "I told them I'd lost my old one," but Officer Williams was shaking his head. "Jake, there's no record of a previous license under your name in this state. It's like you didn't exist before 4 months ago." The room felt like it was spinning. "What does that mean?" Officer Williams called the Portland Police Department while I sat in stunned silence. After a long conversation, he hung up and turned to me with a serious expression. "Jake, I need you to come to the station. The Portland PD wants to talk to you, and your wife is driving down here tonight. She'll be here in the morning to identify you." The thought of meeting a wife I couldn't remember terrified me. What if she's a stranger to me? What if I don't feel anything when I see her? Tony squeezed my shoulder. "Then you'll figure it out together. But Jake, if you really have a family that's been grieving for you, they deserve to know you're alive." That night, I sat in my apartment looking at photos on my phone, trying to find any clues about my past. But everything on my phone dated back only 4 months. It was like my entire digital life had started the day I arrived in this town. The next morning, I would meet a woman who claimed to love me, children who called me dad, and try to piece together a life I couldn't remember living.